Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your man Resh back with another guest. It's Liana. Hey Liana, how are you today?
Hello. I'm so good, thank you. How are you?
I'm super fine. Liana and I had a video just a couple of days ago, and we talked about a very different topic. People are not really used to those kind of topics on my channel, but today we have an even, I would say a little bit more controversial topic. So if you're a little sensitive, you might want to skip this one. Just saying in the beginning of the video, so don't get me like, hey, what are you doing here? I think it's an important topic. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, as you may know or not know, my name is Liana Georgi. I'm a singer from Germany, but I live in Istanbul, and I'm queer. And this video of me went viral, blah, blah, blah. We talked about this. So
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to put the video link over there so that you can watch that video if you haven't watched it yet. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you.
No, not at all. And but I think it's so, I guess, especially here in Turkey, but also still even in Germany, I think we have to talk about female sexuality or lesbian sex because people somehow seem to wonder how that works. And even though it's none of anyone's business, I'm a very open person, and I know that we're all curious. I'm very curious about everything in life. I'm here to answer your questions that you might have on, I don't know, lesbian sex. So
Yes.
if you're like, I don't know, if you're a child, I don't know if this is for your ears. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This is a purely like educational video actually. But still, people have different kind of values, and I respect that. So just make sure to know that.
Yeah.
If you are of age and want more gay content, you can subscribe to my channel!
Oh yeah, she has an amazing YouTube channel. All of her social media accounts are linked in the description box below. You should go check them out. Subscribe to her YouTube channel and also follow her on Instagram because she's a beautiful human being. I love her. So, as I said, this might be a little bit controversial in case you don't really want to hear and watch this. You can skip this one. I'm going to be posting a lot more new videos. So, today we talked about curiosity, and I'm a pretty curious young man, and I'm curious about same-sex loving females. So let's say two lesbian women want to have sexual intercourse. I am very curious how that works because I'm not a lesbian woman, so I can't know.
Really? I mean, whatever you identify as. Actually, you know, the outer experience doesn't say anything about your gender identity nor your sexual orientation. But since I know you, I guess that you are
not. I am definitely 100% not a lesbian woman. I can guarantee you that. So I have no idea how that works. And I actually asked you to, shoot this video because I felt like a lot of people must be curious since I am curious. I don't know if I'm, doing you guys a favor right now, but still, since this video is up, watch it. So I actually want to know all the detail. How do two women have sexual intercourse? How does that work?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is like, it's pretty crazy that we even ask that, because that means we have the perception that a penis needs to be involved to have intercourse.
Yeah, but the thing is, sorry for interrupting, but I feel like, at least that's what I feel like. I'm sorry if it's too offensive, but I feel like there has to be some sort of penis. Yeah, some sort of penetration, like a penis has to go inside of something. If it's not the vagina, it's got to be something else. I feel like that's what sex is about, and I'm probably making a mistake by thinking like that.
I would say yes, because I think this is the patriarchy. It's like the phallos-centric, so like penis-centric view. Why for sex? Why is it all about the penis? Why is it about a penis going into somewhere? First of all, statistics show, and ask any woman you know, how do they come? Even, especially in straight sex, if they come, if they reach an orgasm. So most of the time, it's clitoral. It's from the outside, like there is something called the vaginal, orgasm that can, you can get it through penetration. But first of all, not every woman has that. Some think it's a myth. there is something called the G-point, it's inside, but actually most women come from the outside, which means you do not need penetration. Second of all, you can penetrate with your fingers too. This is why there's the stereotype of, queer women who like women having no long fingernails,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Because we use our hands maybe more, or in that sense.
But put emphasis on the maybe. So yeah, I'm still following you. I'm not adding any more curiosity than I already have. But yeah, just go ahead. You're a beautiful talker.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, nice topic, right? I think we are all interested in that. It makes us human. It's a basic human need, like sexuality, even though also asexual people exist. So I think what we forget is that it's so huge and fluid, and that there are women who don't have vulvas and it's still lesbian sex, but like transgender women who maybe didn't transition yet or who don't want to transition, they can have a penis. So actually, when we talk about lesbian sex, that it could include a penis too, and also depending on the women, because there are women who have penises, and also there are things called strap-ons, that they're like the dildo that you can put around your hip, and then you can have that too. It doesn't mean that you need to have that. Like this is your own thing, whatever you're up for. So I think a lot of people always wonder like, oh, but if you don't like penises, why do you use a strap-on? Well, first of all, not every lesbian or queer women in general does this, and second of all, we can like penetration. I think it's not like every lesbian hates penetration. It's just we're maybe not attracted to someone who identifies as male or who has a male body. Like I like boobs very much, or like
that was very straightforward.
Well, I'm gay, that's the point of it,
Wow. Yeah.
So.
You know what the thing is? I think there's a big misconception, and me included, because you always feel like no matter what the sexual orientation is and no matter who that person is, everybody wants to have some kind of penetration, either being the one who is penetrating or the one who is being penetrated. Now that you're actually saying that is not a must, and even in most cases it's not necessarily needed, that changes my mindset even right now. And I think it's the same for a lot of viewers out there. So interesting, very interesting.
Hopefully, I mean, this is very important for straight people too, or for anyone who wants to make someone with a vulva come and have an orgasm. I think it's very important to understand the biology of vaginas or vulvas in general. It's not all about penetration, not at all. Especially for women, it's mostly like from the outside. And for example, there is something called scissoring in lesbian sex. It's where you like it's like this.
Yeah. You're so cute. You're so cute. That's amazing. Yeah.
I feel like some people might not think that's cute. I think some people will be like, shame on her for talking so openly.
Yeah.
But
because nobody ever has sex. Everybody's just, goes from church to his home and from the mosque to his home. Nobody ever does that. Because that's where do the children come from? We don't know. They just happen. Where does all this, I don't know, what am I talking about? Everybody has sex. Everybody, even the most innocent person in this world. Yeah, it's a basic necessity. It's a need.
Yeah.
The Maslow's pyramid? I'm going to put the pyramid here on the screen so you can see it. Basic needs like, food and water, sex
air,
at the same level,
breathing,
air, sex is at the same level. So talking about sex is actually talking about the necessity of eating. It's the same level. So I don't know why it's always like a controversial issue, a controversial topic to talk about, but I really love doing this right now. Yeah, same sex. Also, one thing that I thought was quite shocking was the fact, I think you told me last time we talked to each other, you said that there's been a research on like hetero couples and on lesbian couples, and it showed that women who had like gay sex had way more orgasms, were way more likely to come when we compared it to like heterosexual couples. So it was like a big difference, right? Was it like 10% of hetero women came when they had like heterosexual sex, but 80% of women who had like gay sex had an orgasm? 80%, that's like 8 times more. So women are 8 times more likely to come 8 times more likely to have an orgasm when they have sex with another woman.
I think it's actually not like there are a few statistics. It depends on where you read and what the people you ask is, but I think the point about is that can also be true for heterosexual couples if we take out that whole penetration thing, because I think for most men or for most people who carry a penis, I think it's harder to come several times, also like quickly after another, and that's not the case for women. Women have multiple orgasms, and actually you don't need to be attracted to women to have those. Like, that's a thing. Generally we can come more often, so it's all about how much we focus on the other person. And I feel like maybe still in straight sex it's very focused on the man. What a shame. Like, I'm always sorry for my straight friends who are girls. I'm like, girl, you're missing out. Like, I'm so happy that I like women, because like, I don't know. I wouldn't like to be attracted to men or only attracted to men. I'm very open.
Wow, that's crazy, because I mean, I think this is helpful even for men, because for the most part, I feel like men, like me included, I feel like we're just, after finishing once, it's just the feeling is over. So it's just, let's say you're here at the beginning, and then you're here when you climax, and then you're even lower than the beginning. Like, it's over. I don't know, go to sleep or watch a TV show or something. Yeah, but when it comes to women, they feel like they can, as you said, multiple orgasms. That's a thing. I mean, some men are also into that, but it's, for the most part, I feel like men are just, good for one round. And then at least you'll have to wait for about half an hour. Yeah, I don't know if you feel like, hey, no, I'm a Superman, I can do even more than once. Then write it down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to hear that. And yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. No, I think what I'm trying to emphasize is, no matter with who you sleep, make sure that there's consent. Make sure that both of you want that, and also if you're already doing that, but like, focus a bit on the other person. Is the other person having as much fun as you do? There is no pressure. It's normal that sometimes we do not come in sex. That is totally fine too. That also happens in lesbian sex, of course.
Yeah,
or
but
not.
Probably because you're a wreck. I'm kidding.
No, you're not. Don't listen to this one.
Yeah, but it should be reciprocal. Like, you should always receive and you should give. It should be like 50% and 50%, no matter if it's straight, gay, lesbian, whatever you want to call it. Just, because men are more likely to act like it's their thing. It's their thing. Well, I'm supposed to have fun here. I'm supposed to be satisfied. Well, yeah, you have a partner.
Yeah, you
are. You should have satisfaction, but you should give satisfaction as well. So the amount should be like equal. Again, talking about equality.
Yes, so, exactly. Yeah. And it's, now also I'm thinking of following our flow, and I think we again focused on the male part of it. Yeah. And I think this is again wrong. We want to focus now on women. So I think I'm trying to empower women here to explore their bodies also, because we have also a complex anatomy, and it's always good to know what you like, and there's no shame in masturbation.
And there's also no shame in guidance. You might even guide your partner and say, hey, look, this is the way I like it. This is the way I enjoy it.
Scoop a bit to the left. Or
a little bit more to the left. Not too much tongue, maybe. What?
Yeah, of course, That is like what I want to say. Like, sex is, I took a class, I'm actually a psychologist officially, and I took a class in sexual medicine in Berlin. And sex is a biopsychological, social, like biopsychosoziales Modell. Biopsychosocial model. So it has so many different functions. The only function of sex is not only to reproduce. Also, some like straight people cannot reproduce because their bodies function in a different way. That's not the only function of sex. Like, that might be one of the biological functions, but there is a social functions, which is like connecting to someone. To also, if you're in a relationship with someone, this alters your social status, and it's also psychological. We want to connect, we want to feel loved. It's communication. Sex is communication. So don't be afraid to, talk, or to talk through your eyes, to like somehow connect with each other, no matter if you're in a relationship relationship or not, I think communication is key in life.
Yeah.
And especially in sex, because we're so vulnerable since we are normally naked or whatever, or someone enters someone, or even if not, even if you like put your clitoris together, like in scissoring with like how lesbians do it, it's very important that you're not only aware of your own body, but you're owning it and you're giving it to someone and you trust that person.
Yeah.
You know, and this is from both sides, no matter who's involved.
Yeah.
Men, women, non-binary people, whatever.
Yeah. And again, saying it is not about superiority. So if you're a man, just don't act like it's all about you. Unless your partner wants to show superiority. That might be like a fantasy or something.
But that's also about then communication. If you're like, everything is free, you can do...
You can just say, hey, slap me in the face. I like that.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
And also, I want to stress out that I do have the impression that some, like, lesbian women they can also be like that. We all carry masculine energies, feminine energies, if you want to think in masculinity and femininity. It's not reserved to men. There are also women who carry toxic masculinity or who expect, you know, the partner to do something or whatever. And there are also lesbians who would be like, you know, very dominant in the sense of how you describe men, you know, about me or whatever. Like, I think we have to talk about, like, if we talk about lesbian sex, we have to talk about sex in general, because like sex is just a basic need, what we said, and it's something very natural and it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it can include many people. You never know where you end up in life, like who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you're
you
gay
mean
too.
many people at once? You mean many people at like a group sex?
But, yes, or your sexuality. Like, life is so fluid. We grow the whole time, so you never know who you meet. Even if you're really, really sure of your sexuality, I don't know. I personally think always keep a door open, because we don't know where our mind will go, who we will meet that we feel attracted to.
Interesting way of thinking. I like that. I want to see how you guys feel about it.
Yeah,
definitely make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. I want to know all your thoughts, all your visions. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will hate this video, but I don't care, because this is what I think. This is something should be normal. Everybody should be capable of speaking about sex, because as we said, it's a basic necessity. And I really want to thank you for coming over, and I really want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I am not a lesbian woman.
I'm not either, by the way. I don't identify as that. I don't identify as anything else than human, and I think that's completely enough.
Yeah. Guys, I want to hug you. I want to give you a hug. You're amazing. Thanks for coming over. I see you guys in one of my upcoming videos.
Yes.
Till then,
Wait. And make sure to give him these 100,000 followers and even more. Like, if you didn't subscribe yet, please do so. Yanni!
You're amazing.
Of course.
Give me a high five. You're amazing. All right, guys. See you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.